What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, there were a lot of us who knew that we would not see Red Hulk in the finale of She-Hulk, no matter how many times they name dropped him and no matter how much that red arm looked like it could be that character. They didn't have enough time to reintroduce Thunderbolt Ross and explain why he would have changed. However, it was just 2 weeks ago when we heard the breaking news they may actually look to recast Thunderbolt Ross from the late William Hurt, who featured throughout the Infinity Saga, to Harrison Ford. Well, we have an update breaking in the last couple of hours doubling down on just this. We have some extra details in tow about which film he'll make his first appearance in, why it makes a lot of sense, and when and why Marvel wanted to introduce him, how come it didn't go down. We're breaking down the latest update that indeed Harrison Ford has already joined the MCU and will be cast as Thunderbolt Ross, the Red Hulk, in an upcoming MCU film before the multiverse saga ends. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so as I mentioned moments ago in the prologue, it was literally just under 2 weeks ago, 13 days exactly, when this story first broke and we covered it here at the channel. Now, within the last 5 hours, an update from industry insider Jeff Schneider on the Hot Mic podcast. This is what they had to say, quote, "We're hearing Harrison Ford has, in fact, been cast as General Thunderbolt Ross, who is expected to make his first appearance in Captain America 4. Doubling down on that initial report from 2 weeks ago and also casting a little light on a rumor that surrounded D23. When they covered Marvel Studios and Disney at that presentation, I was live in the room. They also did Lucasfilm, which isn't just Star Wars, but also Indiana Jones. Now, the reel I recorded at the time actually went viral of Harrison Ford crying just a bit on stage and talking about how emotionally invested he was in this Indiana Jones 5. It was heavily rumored that Marvel Studios wanted to bring him back on stage and introduce him as Thunderbolt Ross alongside the cast of either the Thunderbolts or New World Order. At the time, we thought it was Thunderbolts. We're going to get to that in a second, but that Kathleen Kennedy, the head over at Lucasfilm, did not want them to steal the shine and the importance of the moment as far as focusing on Indiana Jones 5, thought that they could do that at a later date, which is sort of understandable in retrospect, but having been in the room, there was so much time between Lucasfilm's announcement and when Marvel Studios brought the cast out for Thunderbolts and covered New World Order. One would not have shadowed the other, and in that moment, but I get it. It would have made headlines everywhere and could have been saved for a different live announcement, say next year, before these films are released in 2024. Speaking of which, at the time when we first covered this story, we were obviously pointing to the Thunderbolts movie. If you guys are familiar with that team, and as we talked about just days ago here at the channel, there have been several iterations of the Thunderbolts. Baron Zemo started the first team, there was a Winter Soldier iteration, there was also a Red Hulk iteration, and while Red Hulk feels like a villain, even when he was on that Thunderbolts team alongside some of our heroes, they realized they couldn't trust him, so don't expect him to be teaming up in the sort of quote-unquote hero way that we expect Hulks. This is going to be a villain figure alongside the leader in Captain America 4 New World Order, and I do suspect to be revealed behind what's going on with Allegra de Fontaine, her putting together the Thunderbolts and eventually making it onto that team. Just too much concept art, too many people know that he's on the team. It's literally called the Thunderbolts, for God's sakes, and he's General Thunderbolt Ross. Again, Baron Zemo started the first iteration of the team, no relation. It just so happens later in the comics he ends up on the team. Now, when this story broke initially 2 weeks ago, I left it in grain of salt territory, but as I've said a lot at the channel as well recently, the more names show up, the more these stories get re-reported like this, the more likely they are to come true. So if you're wondering on sort of a reverence level how confirmed this is, I'm going to move it up from grain of salt territory into report. It's no longer a rumor when it keeps showing up in this fashion, and that name is just too big to expect anybody to keep a bow on it. Basically, I'm not surprised. Has Harrison Ford actually joined the MCU? Well, if he did, people would be talking about it, and here we are. Now, when we first reported on it 2 weeks ago, obviously we pointed to the Thunderbolts movie as where he would show up for all the reasons I just mentioned during this video, but now knowing he'll be one of the villains or an adversary during Captain America New World Order actually makes a lot more sense. For the same reason that the leader is the villain, Captain America films focus on the super soldier serum, something that the leader has been obsessed with, and really by proxy something that Thunderbolt Ross has been obsessed with. The Marvel Studios, the MCU, has not missed an opportunity to establish the US government as wanting to control enhanced and super individuals. We saw it throughout the Infinity Saga where Thunderbolt Ross was the main mouthpiece for that, but then going into phase 4 it hasn't let up. Of course, Sword trying to control Vision, him quoting quoting them as saying a weapon more easily controlled. And then the DODC after Enhanced Youth, we saw them after Spider-Man and Spider-Man No Way Home, and then again in Miss Marvel. The US government is basically obsessed with superheroes, and now finding out in She-Hulk that the Sokovia Accords, something that Thunderbolt Ross fought so hard for, has now been repealed, that it's not too hard to draw a line between that, him wanting to control superheroes, not being able to anymore or have any regulation, so going ahead and taking the super soldier serum for himself. Speaking of which, how in the world is he going to become Red Hulk? And there are actually many Easter eggs already for this, long before William Hurt passed away, rest in peace, long before we knew we'd get a recast for the Red Hulk. A lot of people pointed to Iron Man 3 as the major Red Hulk Easter egg, and let me explain. Obviously, it's going to be some experiments with the super soldier serum that's going to turn Thunderbolt Ross into Hulk, and this isn't exactly the way it happened in the comics, but when they introduced Extremis in Iron Man 3, the way that they did, and having people breathe fire in the way that they did, well, that's the main differentiator between Hulk and Red Hulk. Red Hulk can breathe fire, and so since Extremis leads to that, it's actually most likely going to be Extremis as part of the super soldier serum that is going to lead to the Red Hulk, and in this way. Guys, I am actually totally amped that they've decided to reintroduce Hulks in the way that they have. We just met Scar last night, Hulk's son, which is definitely going to lead to a World War Hulk storyline. More on that in a different video. We also know that we're getting the leader back, but the Red Hulk, if they were going to leave William Hurt completely uncast, if they weren't going to do the Red Hulk, that was going to be a major missed opportunity. He's a fan favorite, something I've been hoping we'd see on the screen for a long time, and now it appears as though Marvel Studios is going to serve it up. One hope that I have in the instance of seeing Red Hulk on screen is that we still have Bruce Banner in Hulk form, not Smart Hulk, but just regular Savage Hulk, so that they can go at it in the same way I want to see Wolverine square off against Savage Hulk as well. It's just not going to be quite the same if he's still Professor Hulk by the time they get the rematch. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. A, how crazy is it that Harrison Ford's joining the MCU and as this character? And B, what's your ideal scenario for Red Hulk? Where do you want to see him? Which films? And of course, who do you want to see him square off against other than the Hulk? I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We are still giving away a PlayStation 5. The next milestone is 1 million subscribers, which we are headlong into. Could easily hit by this month's end or next. So if you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply for giveaways here at the channel. All you have to do, hit the subscriber because you need to be one, then leave a comment down on the video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.